Hey guys, it's Lisa with LisaListen.com, the blog Are You My Cousin? It's Thursday and I am excited to be with you guys again. And this week I'm going to be talking about how to use Ancestries.com's card catalog feature. So we're going to get to that in a minute, but I just want to take a moment as people are coming in and tuning in to listen to. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time, welcome. And of course, I'm obviously excited to see those of you back who come back every week to join me on our Thursday afternoon Facebook Lives where we talk about genealogy. Again, if you're new to Are You My Cousin, I am Lisa, and I strive to really try and take the overwhelm out of genealogy research. I also like to try to get your imaginations going a little bit and get you thinking a little bit outside the box of things that you might have normally been doing in your research to see what else you might be able to find in the world of genealogy to help you find your ancestors. So as you're coming in, if somebody doesn't mind giving me a thumbs up, let me know you guys hear everything okay. Feel free as we go through to leave a comment in the comment section. If you have a question, I do monitor those as we go through our time together, and I will be happy to answer those for you guys. If you are listening on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment in the Facebook page, or if you're on the YouTube page, watching it in YouTube, pop a comment down there. I do monitor those comments and I will come back and answer your questions if you have questions there. So welcome everyone. Hey, thanks guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Okay, looks like everything is up and working really well. So let's really talk about Ancestry.com's card catalog. And what I want to tell you up front is if you are not an Ancestry.com user, that's perfectly fine. Stay with us because the principles behind this will be the same if you're searching on Find My Past or My Heritage or any Family Search, any of the other databases. The principle is the same. It's just the mechanics might be a little different, where their search boxes are, the terms that they use. And if that's the case, if you're not using Ancestry, but using one of the others, just take a few moments when you get to those sites and check out their tutorials on how to use their features of their website that might be like a card catalog or all their data, how to access all the different varieties of databases and how to filter them out. But for today, I am focusing on Ancestry.com's card catalog feature. Now, I have to be honest up front, I love this feature on Ancestry, but I can find it very frustrating too. And I know that you guys can be frustrated by it as well. So you're not the only one if you've had frustrations in using that. And I'll show you some tips that I've kind of learned along the way that have helped me make the most of it. But how did I really come about using the card catalog on Ancestry? Well, honestly, I had this feeling that I wasn't using all the features that I could. And quite frankly, I was stuck in my research. I was stuck and I needed some new ideas and new fresh ideas. And that's when I stumbled upon the card catalog because I realized, hey, I think I'm really missing something because it's hard to look and search in databases or it's hard to search for record sets when you don't even know what exists out there. So that's sort of what drove me to finding and using the card catalog a bit more. Now, I'm going to actually switch over here in a minute and share my screen so that you guys can take you through some searches so you can see some of the different varieties that I can take. I'm going to go ahead and put in, before I forget, the post. So I did email out a post from my website that this came from. So you can absolutely, after this is over with, hop over to the website and take a look at the post and the examples there as well. So here we go. I'm going to switch over. Give me just a minute to pull that up. I don't really need a minute, guys. I just need a second here. There we go. I'm going to hop over to it. Now, as I go through this, I'm going to show you, here we are on my Ancestry page, and I'm going to go through this in this particular mode. My software doesn't allow me to see the comments, so feel free. Please do put comments into this section if you have questions, and I'll just flip by it periodically and take a peek at those so that I get those answered for you. So first and foremost, if you've not used or don't know where to find the catalog, in Ancestry, you find it right up here in the search column. You just click on search, and you see this drop down and go down to card catalog. And click on that and you go to the card catalog. Now think of this, guys, like when you were a kid and you go to the library and they had literally the actual physical card catalogs in the libraries. That's what this is. essentially. It's just obviously the digital form. So there are a couple things to note here. You have two search boxes up here. You have a title and a keywords. Now, when it comes to, if you're looking for a specific book or for a specific database set that you know that Ancestry has, even if you know they have it, if you don't type it in exactly how they've cataloged it, you're probably not going to get the results back that you want, or if any result back. I struggle with using title because oftentimes I don't have it in there exactly like Ancestry has it. So therefore I miss the hits. I tend to use the keywords box a lot more. And then I'll be honest, I typically go fairly broad here. And then I use my filters down here to actually sort out and narrow my results down a bit. So let's take a look at some of these. So you can certainly, one of the big ways I do is when I'm researching is I actually will research, and I'm going to search by location in the card catalog because I need to know, maybe I'm looking for records for certain areas. So I'm going to type in Mecklenburg County, which is a large county here in North Carolina, down near in the Charlotte. Did I spell that right? Mecklenburg. You know, guys, I cannot type when people are watching. Even when it's virtually, it's hard for me to write. But I'm going to hit search, and obviously I didn't spell that right. So I really did misspell that, didn't I? Mecklenburg. All right. Now, believe it or not, I actually did this earlier in the day, and there we go. I did spell it right. When I do these things live, for some reason, I always get different results. So I actually did practice these things, guys. It's just I always, for some reason, get different results. So I'm looking for Mecklenburg County, and actually this isn't so bad because I ended up with only 17 results, right? So here we have North Carolina. I don't have to do a ton of filtering here because they're all in North America and USA, so I don't really have to worry about that. But maybe I'm really looking in my search and I'm like, I really need something different. I want to know more about maybe some social history. Maybe I'm looking for a little bit more to do with stories or something out of the box, not the standard birth, marriage, and death. I can filter that out. I can actually, this narrowed it down to 8 results. And here I have some books that I can look at. And I believe most of these are actually books. So if I wanted to click through, maybe my ancestor was a physician in Mecklenburg County, I can click on Mecklenburg County. And here we go into that search. And I've got a book that I can look through and use as part of my research. So that's how I would use it from a, let me get back here. Oops, too far. That's how I would use to search for an actual location. Another location I tried earlier today, and you'll see sometimes you just don't get that many. Remember to clear your filters. I will tell you that. Clear your filters when you go back in and start a new search. So for instance, what if I say I'm going to look at a really small county, Grayson County. This was actually in Virginia, but I'm not even going to put Virginia in there. And you can see I only get 3 results, kind of thing. If I wanted to say, okay, I only want North America results, give me the USA results. I could even go down to and pick a state that I wanted to pick. In this case, this is such a small list, I wouldn't normally do this, but I wanted you to see that you actually have choices. So say I pick Virginia, and I have 2 results that I could then go look for on that. So that's how I would use this for a location with that. Now, other ways that I would use this, or hit clear all. There we go. Would be perhaps to search for surnames. Now, that's an interesting place to go. This is not where you want to go and search for individual people. So, if you have an individual that you're looking for and you type his surname, you type the full name like John Smith or whatever you're looking for, John Martin, in the keyword, you're really not going to get anything. That's what the whole search feature is up here for Ancestry. But maybe you're looking for something along the lines of seeing if Ancestry has perhaps any family histories out there. Maybe they have just some directories for that at a certain area, or not directory for areas, certain references for certain surnames out there. Try it and see what happens. And I want to show you a couple ways to do this. So I am going to use my maiden name, which was Talbot, and I'm going to spell it with just that one T. Okay, so I have 118 results. That's actually pretty good. I wouldn't have expected that. Now, I happen to know that I'm really researching this surname on the US side. I'm not currently researching it over in England, although I will one day. I'm going to narrow my results down to the USA only. And that dropped me down to 29 results. And then maybe I'm really interested in these memories, these histories, because this is lately where I've been researching a lot and finding a lot of information. So I'm really looking for family histories. Get that box. I still have 24 results, but I've got some really nice resources to check. And sometimes you just have to kind of go through. It's just, I might have to go into that and look and see if it's the right one that I want. Maybe we got private member stories, Talbot County. That might be something that I would want to look for, because actually I do know that that's part of where they settled. But so I can go down and sort through them that way. I can sort through by state if I want to, the whole bit. So that's one way to do it. Now, the interesting thing, there we go. So the interesting thing is, if I add a second T, which is actually how I spell my maiden name with 2 T's, look at that. I only get one result. So this search engine is very picky. I'm going to be honest. It is picky. So if you try putting in a surname into this, try various spellings. Don't be afraid to do that. You may get 000, but then you may find the one that's spelled the way you want to spell it. Talbot with a T and Talbot with 2 T's are exactly the same family, guys. It's just sometimes it was spelled one way and sometimes a different way. We all know that in research, but for some reason, Ancestry and the card catalog, it's got to be exactly, or it won't pull up any results for you. So I wanted to show you that and tell you to actually play around with that. All right, give me just a minute, guys. I want to hop back and check and see if there are any questions so that I can see those questions over there. We've got that. Okay, so nobody's got any questions yet. That's fine. If you come up with one, feel free to go ahead and ask, and I will come back in and answer. All right, back to our examples again. Okay, so I want to show you another way to use keywords. Let me clear everything out here. Sometimes what I like to do, if I'm really just trying to come up with some new research avenues, because we all face it, we all get stuck, right? And sometimes we just need to come up with some new avenues. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll come into this and I might go into this and say, okay, I only want USA records. Okay, now guys, I know this is a huge number. Don't worry, we're going to get there. And maybe I'm only researching in, say, North Carolina today. Okay, let's see if that number's coming down. Yep, it's coming down, 7,500. Okay, I know that I am looking and researching in, let's say, this one. Let's try Forsyth County because it's got multiple records. So I can actually just drill down that way and not even use the keywords. I can say, okay, I know I want to see what records, specific records Ancestry might have for Forsyth County, North Carolina. And here I have 11 records that I could then sift through to see what's what for what I'm interested in. So I wanted to show you that. So sometimes I just go in and play around. I can narrow it down further and say, okay, I'm really only interested in records pertaining to the 1890s. Because you know that 1890 census didn't survive. And I'm looking for other types of records that might have ancestors that I could perhaps use in place of that. And so I can just narrow down even further. So I wanted you to see that as well, how to do that. And I have another example for you guys. So when I was researching, one of my families is actually out of the Elliott family in South Central Virginia. And so in North Central Virginia, those counties along the border. So if you research Elliott's in that general vicinity, leave me a comment, guys. We need to talk. Anyway, I was researching these and I've discovered that one of the collateral ancestors was a baseball player. Now, I have a son, and at the time he was very much into baseball and sports. So I was like, I need to find out more about him. So I did a lot of research on it and found some really interesting things. But what I want to tell you is, do you know you can actually find sports type of information on Ancestry? Really, really cool. So for instance, if I type in baseball, so I have baseball players in my family, look at that. You get 3 whole results. I know 3 is not many, but there's a lot of information. This is the professional baseball photos and illustrations all the way back to 1876. Okay, guys, how cool is that? I never would have thought about that. I just happened to be playing around in the card catalog one day, trying different search terms to see what I could find, and I stumbled upon that. So that's a really unusual, uncommon research or record set. I don't think a lot of genealogists are probably delving into that very often, but I was thrilled to find that and wanted to show you that. So don't be afraid to play around in this card catalog. Try different search topics and see what you come up with, because I think you may be surprised at what you actually come up with. And that, I'm going to hop back over, guys, so I can see you guys. Okay. So what did you guys think? I mean, do you find that kind of interesting? Like I said, I know it's kind of clunky at times and it can be kind of picky, but the big things that I use for it is I rarely use that title search box. Okay, I rarely use that because I just struggle with getting the exact title sometimes. I typically will try to just drill down using those filters. I go wide with keywords, and then I use the filters to kind of separate things out with that. By going wide with that keyword, sometimes I actually see things, more examples or more record sets that I might not have seen and not been aware of if I had gone very specific there. I typically search by locations. I typically will search by a surname, not an individual's name, but a surname, and try those various spellings when you do that. And then if there's a topic, you can also use that keyword. Maybe you're interested in World War I soldiers. You can put that in there and see what record sets might come up with that. Maybe you had ancestors who were physicians, and you can type in physicians or doctors, medical doctors, and drill down and sort out using those filters for location and for time period. So I would encourage you to play around with that and see what you guys think. If you're using something like a Find My Past or one of those sites, those are great sites too. They just have a little different system. Just spend some time learning their system and you can use that record set as well. My favorite feature about it is it does allow me to see different records, uncommon records, something beyond that census records, those wills, those probates, the records that I use every day, that we all use. So kind of gets you out of the box, thinking outside the box a little bit to broaden your research a bit. Okay, guys, that's what I have for using the card catalog. If you have questions, go ahead and now's the time to pop them in the comment section while I wrap things up here, and we will go. So if you are watching this live, if you want to watch this later, if you have somebody you want to forward it to, I would encourage you, absolutely feel free to share this. In fact, I would ask you to share it on Facebook. I will have it going live on YouTube a little bit later today. I will have it up there as well for people to watch on YouTube, since not everybody is on Facebook. I do recognize that. Feel free to hop over and look at the post that goes along with this particular topic, the card catalog. I have it written out in form with pictures and examples there. So if you want to refer back to that, you can do that as well. I mentioned the YouTube channel. I'd encourage you to check out the YouTube. I am getting more and more videos up over there. My goal is to eventually get all my Facebook Lives uploaded over there so you can watch past Facebook Lives, but I'm also putting new videos up as well. So feel free to check that out. And when you're over there, I would love it if you would subscribe. And that way, when new stuff comes up, you will see it in your feed and you will be good to go and you won't miss anything. Okay, guys, have a great day and I will talk to you next week. Bye.